Olá, meninos e meninas, tudo bem com vocês? Faz tempo, it's been such a long time since I last recorded a video, but I hope you're well and I hope you're ready to learn more about Portuguese. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing about falsos cognatos or false cognates. What are they? Okay, they are what I like to call it a little bit dangerous, so to speak, but I'll tell you why. Because here we are. Initially, before I say something like, let's understand first of all, before I go into drama of saying why they are dangerous, I want to explain what a falso cognato or false cognate means. Okay, um, in linguistics, which is the science that studies languages, a false friend or a false cognate is a word in a different language that looks or sounds similar to a word in a given language from different but differs significantly in meaning. It's like words in English. Let's say, for example, you see a word in Portuguese and you think that it's similar to English, but actually isn't. It's completely different. Okay, so these are what we're going to focus on, and this happens in so many different languages. Let's say, for example, here, like examples of false friends. So false cognatos or false cognates can also be called false friends. Okay, and here are some examples of false friends. Okay, for example, in English, embarrassed is not embarazada in Spanish, because embarazada in Spanish is pregnant. Okay, so notice that these words, they are, the writing is kind of similar, so you would think this word is a cognate. It's a friend word, a friendly word, but it actually isn't, because embarazada means pregnant. So boys never say, I am embarazada, estoy embarazada in Spanish. Because you're not pregnant. Okay? And then English, for example, the word parent in English is different from the word parentes in Portuguese. Okay? Because parents in English is your mother and your father, whereas in Portuguese, parentes are your relatives. Okay? So that is something we need to pay attention. Okay, to. So what did I decide to do? Is there any remedy? What can I do to actually learn false? Yeah, friends and apply in my life as a Portuguese learner. But here, let's just say that there is no secret actually. There is no formula to learn, but I can give you some tips to help you learn these words better. First of all, again, as I always say, context is very important. So understand the context, okay? Um, there will always be a list of false friends in any Portuguese books that you can follow, and you just follow that list, memorize them, and try to associate. Actually, also try to associate it with your language as well. So this is going to help. So here is a little list of cognate words, of false cognate words, to help you understand the mechanisms of how to apply these words. Okay, let's say, for example, the word actual. Actual, the way in English, looks like the word atual in Portuguese, but actually is a completely different thing. So actual means real or verdadeiro, whereas atual means current. Okay, attend is assistir ou participar, whereas the word atender, você atende ao telefone, so you answer the phone. Costume, which is fantasia, não é? Or traje em português, is completely different from costume in Portuguese, and costume in Portuguese means habit or custom. Okay, discussion is actually not discussão, but discussion in English is debate or debate ou consideração, desculpa, debate or considerações. Whereas discussão in Portuguese means argument. Eventually, in English, in Portuguese means finally, and eventualmente in English means occasionally, which can also be translated as ocasionalmente, okay? But eventualmente. Expert is an especialista or perito. Esperto means smart or clever. Exquisite means refinado or requintado. Esquisito is a strange person. It's a weirdo, okay? Fabric, tecido. Fábrica is a plant or factory, more specifically, a factory, okay? Injury is ferimento, whereas injúria means offense or insult. Intoxication is intoxicado, as if on efeitos de drogas, when you've taken drugs. Whereas intoxicação is poisoning, as in food poisoning, intoxicação alimentar, okay? Lamp is luminária or abajur. I like calling it abajur. Whereas lâmpada is a light bulb. Library, biblioteca. Livraria is a bookstore or a bookshop. Lunch, almoço. Lanche is a snack. Magazine is revista, whereas magazine is a name for a loja, or which means in English shop or store. Máscara for your face is rímel, whereas I think that's the right pronunciation, isn't it? Rímel? Whereas máscara is a mask, okay? Pasta is massa for alimentos, okay? Or pasta can also means macarrão, okay? Or we have pasta in English meaning folder or briefcase. We have some more. We have prejudice, which is the word preconceito, e prejuízo means damage or loss. Pretend is the word fingir, or the expression fazer de conta, okay? Whereas pretender means to intend, okay? Which comes to another confusing thing, because intend also sounds like the word in Portuguese, entender, okay? But actually, entender means to understand. Push is empurrar, whereas puxar means pull, to pull. Reclaim is recuperar, whereas reclamar means to complain about or to claim something. Record means gravar, okay? You record your voice, you record, I don't know, a CD. Whereas recordar is a verb, it means to remember. Sensible is sensato, whereas sensível is sensitive. Tent is barraca or tenda, whereas tentar is the word to try. Vegetables is verdura or legumes, two very common words in Portuguese, okay, in both styles of Portuguese, whereas vegetais are plants, okay? Yeah, it is a tough work to understand how these words operate. But yeah, that was the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope it helps you understand a little bit more how false friends work in the language. So, obrigado por sua participação nesta videoaula. Leia e revise o seu material de estudos e bons estudos. Ok? Tchau, tchau. See you next class. Até a próxima aula.